And I've been going crazy on Instagram Reels, Ed, because trauma, recovery from divorce trauma is like, I think it's trending or something. And Ed, a bit of it pisses me off a lot, because when people haven't been abused by more than like 5 or 6 people, abused hasn't had a bad relationship or whatever, and they don't understand trauma like I do. I've been abused by so many, Ed, over the years because of being a ritual torture victim, complete strangers who I don't have any personal connection with, you know. So I have an understanding of trauma, Ed, that others don't. And I'll tell you something, Ed. Between two humans, two hearts, trauma can never be sustained. Never. Because when there are two hearts involved, Ed, life energy will come in and trauma will go out. The opposite, Ed, of trauma is life energy. It's that simple. This is what I've learned, Ed. And you know, Ed, there is no solution to trauma when you're directing it at a person or a group of people or something like that. There's no solution. I'm not saying you shouldn't say that this person did that to me or these people did that to me. Not like that. Not like that, Ed. But what I'm saying is that you cannot solve or come out of trauma or transcend it as long as you believe that, you know, it's those people or those entities that caused it. Because it's very simple. If it's between you and actual humans, then life energy would have removed the trauma. You'd have laughed over it, or you'd have cried over it or something, and you'd have moved on. But in the absence of life energy, you cannot release trauma. And fake humans, you can't have a life energy transfer or transcendence with them. You cannot. So what the person is dealing with, Ed, is a spiritual conflict inside our own self. And that's the only way, Ed, to deal with trauma, with being betrayed, with being cheated, with being disappointed, and all those things, Ed, that people bring up, that come up. And Ed, when I see these things, I find that the main trauma that people have is not, Ed, that, you know, it's not so much directed towards a person or people, but it's the spiritual inability, Ed, to believe that their life has gone in a direction that they didn't expect. It's that simple. And that's why, Ed, you'll find those who had a lot of expectations from their lives and who came from families where there were those expectations and traditions, they have a harder time dealing with any trauma, forget divorce, any trauma. Because that's the thing that's difficult to deal with, Ed. And that's a spiritual matter, because you have to have faith in your life path. And you have to have faith that God is taking you on the right path for you. And if you don't have that, Ed, then the trauma is there's just nothing, there's no solution. They're online, Ed, and they're commenting in the comments, he did this to me, my third, my fourth, my fifth, this happened, that happened, and the other. There's no solution, Ed, because the problem is a spiritual one, and it's good to vent and all that, but, you know, if you really want to transcend a trauma, you'll have to work out and learn what God, face what God wanted you to learn from that, you know, about your own self, about love, about God, about everything. Because if you don't do that, then you're just really actually going nowhere. Anyway, Ed, I just wanted to tell you that.